দর্শক, নন্দন টিভি আয়োজিত ল অ্যান্ড লাতে অনুষ্ঠানের এই পর্বে আপনাদের স্বাগত জানাই। আমরা যেমনভাবে সচরাচর আমরা সমস্ত সমসাময়িক বিষয় নিয়ে আপনাদের সামনে আসি আমাদের নলেজ শেয়ারিংয়ের জন্যে, ঠিক একইভাবে আজকে আমরা এসেছি একটা সমসাময়িক বিষয় নিয়ে, যেটা আমাদের কমিউনিটির জন্য একটা অপরিহার্য অঙ্গ হয়ে উঠেছে দিনকে দিন। আমরা আজকে এসেছি আপনাদের সামনে কনস্ট্রাকশন লোনের বিষয়বস্তু নিয়ে আলোচনা করবার জন্যে। ইদানিং আমাদের কমিউনিটিতে প্রচুর বিল্ডার্স, এছাড়াও যারা হোম ওনার্স আছেন, তারাও নিজেদের জন্য বিভিন্ন রকম বিল্ডিং, তাদের নিজস্ব বাড়ি বিল্ড করা অথবা ব্যবসায়িক স্বার্থে নতুন বাড়ি বিল্ড করবার জন্যেও কনস্ট্রাকশন লোনের শরণাপন্ন হচ্ছেন, এবং এই বিষয়টাকে মাথায় রেখেই আমরা আজকে আপনাদের সামনে এসেছি কনস্ট্রাকশন লোনের বিষয়বস্তু নিয়ে। এই বিষয়ে আজকে আমাদের সামনে এসেছেন রন পারহাম, মর্গেজ এজেন্ট, রিয়েল মর্গেজ অ্যাসোসিয়েটস কোম্পানিতে সে আছেন। টেকনিক্যালি রন মর্গেজ এজেন্ট হলেও সে মাস্টার্স একাডেমিক্যালি মাস্টার্স ইন আর্কিটেক্ট, এছাড়াও সে মাস্টার্স ইন বিজনেস অ্যাডমিনিস্ট্রেশন অন ডেভেলপমেন্ট কনস্ট্রাকশন। সো এই সমস্ত একাডেমিক কোয়ালিফিকেশন এবং তার বহুদিনের এই প্রফেশনে অর্থাৎ মর্গেজ বিজনেসে যে এবং স্পেসিফিক্যালি কনস্ট্রাকশন মর্গেজের সঙ্গে জড়িত থাকবার কারণে তার নলেজকে আমরা শেয়ার করবার জন্য আমরা আজকে রন পারহামকে আমাদের মাঝে রেখেছি। রন পারহাম, থ্যাংক ইউ ভেরি মাচ ফর participating in our program, Law and Latte, for sharing your knowledge. And I really appreciated that you set aside some valuable time for us for sharing of knowledge. I know that you are already known to our community, Bengali community, on mortgage, and specifically for the construction mortgages, right? So that's why we would like to learn from you today what is the process and in details, in fact, how the construction mortgage or construction loan works. So at this point, Ron, I would like to know that what is the purpose actually of the construction loan or construction mortgage?
Thank you, Jay, inviting me and giving me this opportunity to share my 30 years knowledge, I would say, in construction in general, from architecture to building to
Right.
financing right now.
Right.
Basically, answering your question, what is the purpose of basically the construction loan?
Correct.
Imagine you have a house, you bought a house, and it's a bungalow, and you are tired of living in bungalow and you want to have a new house.
Right.
Okay?
And it's happening occasionally nowadays, happening. Yeah.
This is one of the purpose. I would
Right.
say there are several purposes. So what you do, what is your choice? You go and you buy a already built house.
Right.
So you know better than me, is like you're paying an extra money because it's ready and all the work is done.
Correct.
If you take the work on your own shoulder and you do it yourself, for sure it's going to cost much less.
Right.
So economically is much better if you take this task yourself, basically. This is one
Aspect.
scenario.
Right. Right.
The second scenario, you want to buy another property and build this property for yourself, not the one that you live in.
Right.
So what you do, you continue living in, and you build another property, and then you move there, which I did myself. Basically.
Okay. Got it.
Third, you want to be active in construction, flipping basically house
To make money.
and making
Right.
money.
Right.
So what are your choices? Your choices is to buy a property. Let's say if you want to flip, you buy a property and then you get a second mortgage to build that.
That's the second mortgage in the way of construction mortgage.
In the way of construction
Right.
mortgage. Yeah, I will say. We call it construction mortgage.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
It's a second mortgage.
Correct.
When you get the second mortgage, you do whatever you want with the second
Exactly.
mortgage. You can use it for construction and so on and so on. So, what is the problem of getting a second mortgage and using it for construction? Is if you go with a bank, if you tell the bank,
No, we'll be going to that point. But before that, I think we can also add one thing nowadays, not nowadays, in fact, since the housing is a problem in the city, and nowadays, severance of the property. So you have one property,
Exactly. This is
you
another-
severed one property and you build two properties. At the same time, you are considering, I will build one for me and I will build another and I will sell it. That is also a purpose nowadays. It's a growing target for the construction loan
especially here
in city of Toronto.
City of Toronto,
Right.
and especially Bengalese community.
It's-
They
okay.
are focused on that,
Right.
and there is a reason because they make money.
Easy money in a
It's
sense, I would say
straightforward,
it was, yeah. So now we understand that the construction mortgage or construction loan in the manner of second mortgage, but there is already a first mortgage, which is standard mortgage or conventional mortgage. Normally we get from the banks. Now, what is the difference between this standard mortgage and the construction mortgage?
A standard mortgage is basically based on your financial situation and, let's say, your income.
Right,
So you are going to be qualified based your financial ability to pay the monthly payment and to return this at the end of the term, or you pay amortized, let's say during 25-30 years,
right,
this mortgage. The construction loan is different because, first of all, it is not for 30 years. It's a short term.
normally 1 year.
Normally 1 year.
Right.
1 year to 18 months, which is
Right.
normal time to build and to
Got it.
let's say sell.
Yeah,
Okay. The important thing with the construction loan or construction mortgage is it is based on equity in the house. And the good thing with the construction loan is lender takes a little bit of more chance. It gives you a loan based on equity that doesn't exist right now. That's going to be
Right.
projected
right,
across equity.
got it.
So when you come to me to get a mortgage, what I do, we will talk later on. The first thing that I do, I order an appraisal of projected value.
Okay, so the difference between the standard loan and construction loan primarily because the standard loan appraisal is whatever you have now on the property.
Equity existing.
Existing, and in construction mortgages,
Plus your income.
right, plus,
Both together,
exactly.
they provide.
But in construction loan, they appraise on the projected equity of the property. Am I
Exactly.
correct?
And all the
Very good.
calculations based on that.
Right. Now, these types of construction loan, who does normally provide these types of construction loans?
As I told you, I mean, you can go to a convention, to a bank, let's say,
Institutional banks.
institutional body, and apply for construction loan.
Right.
The problem is, as I told you, bank a little bit don't like to take a lot of chance. Okay, they are very
Conservative. Yeah,
conservative,
yeah.
and they don't like to guess what is going to be the future value and so on and so on,
Right.
or as if built value.
Right.
That's why it's much easier to deal with private mortgage for that.
Right.
And private mortgage, as I told you, orders an appraisal, and based on everything on this appraisal. Let's say you bought a property at $800,000, a bungalow, an old bungalow,
Right.
and you want to rebuild from scratch a new house. What you do, you prepare a project for that. Okay,
Yeah.
with an architect, and you go through all this approval and everything. This is beside the point. when everything is done, what we do, we get this permit PDF, which is big PDF file.
Yeah, yeah.
We give this PDF file to a specialist appraisal
Okay,
that according to this project and according to the value of the house as if built is
Projected.
as if built,
projected.
as I say
Yeah.
as if built. I am not saying future value because sometimes there is this confusion. Some client comes to me and say, okay, if I build this, if this finishes in 1 year, so for sure value is more.
Right.
That is the projected value.
Yeah.
I say no. What they consider as if built value is if this house is built today, what is going to be the value?
Got it.
That's what the mortgage
Construction
is based on.
mortgagee. Okay, got
Based
it.
on that.
Now, Ron, since you were in this construction mortgage for a long time, say
Long time.
many years, from your practical experience, not by the book, what are the main requirements, if any, of our client or of our borrowers or community members would like to get a construction mortgage? What are the preliminary requirements for getting the construction mortgage?
There are several. The most important is projected value. I call it projected value.
Okay.
That means if you bought a house at, let's say, $800,000 in this bungalow, you get a mortgage of, let's say, another $800,000 mortgage.
Right.
And you build a house, so you already spend $1,600,000.
Correct.
Other than all these permits and so on, that is add to all that.
Right.
Development fee and everything.
Right.
So requirement is several. Exit strategy.
Right.
This is the value to calculate LTV, loan to value.
Okay.
You know what is loan?
Yeah.
Loan to value.
But if you can explain to the
loan to value, that is a formula that any lender, bank or private uses. The higher is the loan value, the more risky is for the lender.
correct.
Loan to value, that means if this house is $1 million value,
Right.
okay, but has a $900,000 mortgage
On the property.
So loan to value is
Very high.
90%.
90%.
Very high.
Yeah.
So first, to find out what is the loan value, and based on the policy of this lender, you just put it on different category and deal with it in different way.
Got it.
For example, the rate is going to be based on loan to value. Loan to value of 60% rate, monthly rate, rate of the mortgage is different than loan to value for 80%.
Got it.
But in nowadays, 80% doesn't even exist because it's very risky.
Due to the risky, yeah.
80%.
And what are the requirements except LTV?
This is LTV is one of the requirements.
Right.
The most important requirement, and one of the most important, another most important requirement is exit strategy.
Okay.
How you return our money.
Okay.
What the lender wants to know.
Okay. Now, for doing this, I think there should be a project planning, I think. Otherwise, the lender would like to see what is the project planning, because this is a project. So how does this project planning works for the construction mortgage? Would you be preparing the project planning for the borrower, or the borrower has already the project planning, you will be utilizing that for getting the mortgage approved?
There are several project planning, as you mentioned. There is technical project planning, that means how technically is built, okay?
Right.
How beautiful is built, how luxury is built,
Okay.
what is going to be the value, what is going to material that is used.
Okay.
You can use a $25,000 kitchen, $125,000 kitchen. So
Got it.
it's a different value that you give to your property. The other thing is financial, you call it value.
Capability, okay, financial value.
Financial value. So it's all depend on which kind of value you are looking for.
Okay. Any other requirement, like what about the requirement of credit score? I mean, we always in the loan process, we know that there is a credit score requirements for the loan. What about this construction mortgage?
You see, the difference with the bank and private mortgage. Private mortgage is like any private guy who wants to lend his money. So there is not a fixed requirement. There is not a standard requirement for private mortgage.
Okay.
There are general standard requirement, as I said. For example, financially be sound and exit strategy should be LTV calculation. All that is general.
Is there any hard and fast rules like the standard bank that you have to provide your income?
This is more general, but particularly each lender has his own policy.
Got
for
it.
example.
Okay.
Some they have a policy. They want to see how much you make money. Okay.
Got it.
It's not because calculating like a bank how qualify or not qualify you.
Got it. So there is no conclusive requirement of construction loan. It varies.
Depend on the
mortgagee. So দর্শক এখানে একটা বিষয় অনেক ক্ষেত্রেই আমরা দেখি যেটা প্রশ্ন আসে যে আমাদের ক্রেডিট স্কোর তো এখানে ভালো নয় এবং এই কারণেই তো আমরা কনস্ট্রাকশন লোন নিয়ে আই উড লাইক টু মেক সাম মানি। সো আই স্পোক টু রন এবং যেটা আমি অ্যাডভাইসড হয়েছি যে ক্রেডিট স্কোরটা অ্যাকচুয়ালি ইম্পর্টেন্ট না, বাট ক্রেডিট ব্যুরো রিপোর্টটা প্রত্যেকটা লেন্ডার দেখতে চায় যে আপনার ওখানে লায়াবিলিটিস কী আছে এই জিনিসগুলো অ্যাসার্টেন করবার জন্যে। তো আপনার যদি ক্রেডিট স্কোর করার কারণে কম থাকেও সেটার জন্য আপনার কিন্তু পিছিয়ে আসবার কারণ নেই যে আমার কনস্ট্রাকশন লোন হয়তো হবে না। আসলে ক্রেডিট ব্যুরো রিপোর্টটা যেটা দেখতে চায় যে আপনার কী লায়াবিলিটিস ওখানে আছে দেখবার জন্যে। ক্রেডিট স্কোরটা এরকম প্রাইভেট মর্টগেজ কনস্ট্রাকশন লোনের ক্ষেত্রে খুব বেশি ভ্যারি করে না, যেটা আমি রনের সঙ্গে কথা বলে বুঝেছি। সো রন, সিন্স ইউ আর ইন দিস কনস্ট্রাকশন মর্টগেজ অ্যালং উইথ আদার মর্টগেজেস ফর এ লং টাইম, how long typically needs to be approved a construction loan?
It comes again to this mention, to this notion that you ask.
Okay.
How to be qualified? What is the requirement? Basically, what is the requirement?
Right.
The requirement is financial, as I told you, technical, which is which kind of material you use, and so on and so on. And another technical, another aspect of qualification, okay, how they qualify you to give you this money or not, is, as I told you, is depend on the lender. Some lender, I don't want to start this question of requirement of the government, as we discussed that,
Right.
like Tarion, so on and so on. Some lender wants to see the Tarion, some lender wants to see the financial stability of the client, because all that comes to this exit strategy. They
Got
want
it.
to know how sound you are in terms of
Pay off the loan
in
back.
terms of financial to return this money, and in terms of professional to execute this project.
Got it.
Who is building? Are you building? If you build, this is your first time you build, this is your second time, this is your 10th time, show us what you build.
Got it.
Some lenders want to see that.
Got it. No, thank you, Ron. So while I was talking with you, I came across with a new information, so I would like to share with our viewers. So দর্শক, এখন যেটা হয়েছিল আজ থেকে কিছু বছর আগেও কিন্তু এই ট্যারিয়নের যে রিকোয়ারমেন্ট এটা কিন্তু ছিল না। এখন যেটা হলো যে আপনি যদি বিল্ড করতে যান সিটি অফ টরন্টোতে, সিটি অফ টরন্টো will be asking for the Tarion certificate if you are in fact honored with the TARI-on certificate if you got already the enrollment of the TARI-on certificate. Now এখানে একটা ছোট্ট ডিফারেন্স আছে, সেটা হলো যে আপনি যদি আপনার বাড়ি নিজের জন্য বানান এবং এটা যদি বিজনেস পারপাসে না হয়, সেই ক্ষেত্রে কিন্তু TARI-on-এর একটা এক্সামশন আছে। কিন্তু আপনি যদি এটা বিজনেস পারপাসে বানাতে যান, যেটা কিছু বছর আগেও TARI-on ছাড়াও আমাদের এই কাজগুলো করতে পারতাম, সেটা কিন্তু এখন কোনোভাবেই সম্ভব নয়। সো TARI-on একটা বিগ ফ্যাক্টর আমাদের এই লোনগুলো, ইনফ্যাক্ট কনস্ট্রাকশন লোনগুলো পাওয়ার জন্য TARI-on একটা পূর্ব শর্ত। এখন আপনি আপনার নিজের বাড়িতে থাকবার জন্য যদি বানান, সেই এক্সামশনটা আপনি পাবেন। I will be asking you in a perspective of practical example. Suppose I have a property which is a bungalow, and the value of the property is now maybe $1.1 million. I have a mortgage of $200,000 because I bought this property maybe 15 years back, and now it went down and my mortgage stands at $200,000. Now to build a home in a bungalow, approximately I will be getting $3,000 square feet property approval from the city. I need, let's say, $1 million to build a property. Can it be doable? And if it is doable, what is the process?
When you mention $200,000 is very doable because is normally we are talking about practice.
Right.
Practice.
Right.
In practice, my clients, when they own a bungalow of $1 million, they more or less they have 60% LTV already mortgage. That means around $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 mortgage.
Right.
Not 200,000. The reason I'm telling you 200, if I hear you have only $200,000, I would guarantee everything for you.
Now,
Because LTV is very low.
I understand.
Because $200,000 is what you owe for your first mortgage.
Got it.
Even if you get $1 million for second mortgage, you
Right.
only have $1,200,000
Correct.
mortgage.
Right.
For a projected value, which I guess is at least $2 million or
Right.
over to $2.5 million.
Right. Right.
So if the final value is $2.5 million and you have $1,200,000 mortgage,
And obviously the lender will be
50%
interested.
LTV,
Yeah.
you are
Got it.
you
Yeah.
you are happiest in the world.
Got it. So I got it. Okay. How a construction mortgage application processed and approved? How does it work?
Okay, you come to me to start with and you say, okay, Ron, I want a construction mortgage.
Right.
The first thing that I ask you, okay, where is the address? This is to begin with.
Very good.
If it's out of GTA, so this is another question, not a lot of private
Let's
land.
focus on GTA property,
Yeah.
which would be much easier.
Much
Yeah.
easier. Oh, where, which area, and
Right.
so on and so on, so the value is dependent
Right.
on that.
Yeah.
Okay? And the second thing that I ask you, do you have a permit? Valid permit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to have a valid permit.
Exactly.
You send me the permit, I go through the permit to see what you are going to build and so on and so on. I send this permit to an
To the
appraiser,
lender, okay.
An appraiser. This appraiser based on this permit and based on what is sold around this property as a new house is going to give us a value. Is going to give us a report. This report has three or four report in one report, basically.
Got it.
Sometimes they say, which is very expensive, this appraisal is not one appraisal, it's four appraisals.
Right, and that's why this bit expensive.
That is relatively
Okay, got it.
expensive. So first thing, this appraisal value is the projected, that means future value, what is going to cost, what is going to be the value when it's finished. The second is the land value, because mortgagee consider this property as a land, because in order to build you have to remove
Right.
the bungalow.
Right.
So it's a land.
Correct.
It's a land value. The third thing is if you started already the construction, what is the executed already value?
Okay, percentage of the construction and what is the value?
You have
Yeah.
done. The fourth thing is as is value. That means right now, this land with, let's say,
20% build.
20% bill, what is going
What
to
is the
be
value? Got
so
it.
four value basically in one
Got it.
one report.
Yeah.
The first value is very important for the lender because based everything on that, from how much you get the money to how much the rate you are going to pay, all that is based on future value and how much mortgage is going to give you and how much mortgage you already have.
Got
So
it.
LTV. The second is the land value. Land value for the mortgagee is important because at the closing, how much money you can get, how much he can give you
Got it.
money.
Okay.
So if you have, if the land value, let's say, is 800, for a $1 million bungalow, land value normally is around $600,000 to $700,000. If the land value is $600,000 to $700,000, normally the lender doesn't want to give you more than 60% of that
Okay.
as a constant debt. That means at the closing, because at the closing there is a bare land, there is nothing there.
Exactly.
There is a bare land.
Right.
So if he gives you $200,000
Yeah.
at the closing, this $200,000 he wants to know if tomorrow you default, how he recuperates this 400.
Right. What is the recovery plan or the exit plan? Right.
Basically, the only thing that he has has this land, so he has to sell this land to
Correct.
recuperate.
Right.
If there is another bank as a first mortgage,
That has to be
bank
paid
has
first.
a priority, and
Right.
so on. So it does this calculation to know how much at closing you will receive.
Got it.
To begin with.
Okay.
So this is the land value.
Right.
The third is how much you built already. If you started to build, how much you build, and this how much you build. The third and fourth is the same thing. How much you build and what is the value of what you built.
Got
what
it.
you built. So this bring in the calculation of how much you
For the
money
whole
you can
process.
get.
Right. Thank you very much. দর্শক আমাদের সঙ্গে থাকবার জন্য অনেক ধন্যবাদ। আমরা আজকের এই পর্বে কনস্ট্রাকশন লোন নিয়ে আলোচনা করলাম। এর পরবর্তীতে যদি আপনাদের কোনো জিজ্ঞাসা থাকে আপনারা রনের সঙ্গে অথবা আমাদের সঙ্গে যোগাযোগ করতে পারেন। বরাবরের মতোই আমরা যেটা বলি যে এটা যদিও ল রিলেটেড প্রোগ্রাম, বাট এটা শুধুমাত্র ইনফরমেশন শেয়ারিংয়ের জন্য। আপনাদের যদি কোনো লিগ্যাল অ্যাডভাইসের দরকার হয় আপনারা অবশ্যই আপনাদের অ্যাটর্নি, আপনাদের লয়ার যারা আছেন তাদের সঙ্গে যোগাযোগ করবেন। আমরা পরবর্তীতে আবারও কোনো সমসাময়িক বিষয় নিয়ে আপনাদের সঙ্গে সামনে আসব। সেই পর্যন্ত ভালো থাকবেন, সুস্থ থাকবেন।